shaking, y'all. Episode 49 episodes into this baby. You know what, Inna?
Tell me.
Haven't been canceled. You know why?
Why?
Because you cannot cancel me. I produce my own show. Inna Lukyanovsky on the 49th episode of the Golden Mic. I cannot be more excited. Inna Lukyanovsky, the author of, oh my gosh. The author of Crohn's and Colitis Fix. I had it as Colitis and Crohn's Fix. I was like, wait, that's backwards. Inna Lukyanovsky, the founder of Real Health Solutions. Inna Lukyanovsky, the God healing expert. We need to talk about what a God healer is. That's really exciting to figure out what that is. For those of you who haven't met me, my name, Mark Cordone. I'm the founder of what am I the founder of? I'm so excited. Make Money coaching program, but more importantly, I'm a positive psychology coach. This is all I do. Are you feeling good? And are you living life to your fullest potential on a daily basis? That's all I do. So if you're feeling good and you're living your life to your full potential, you don't need a positive psychology coach. Live your life. Now, Inna, I need to ask you this.
Sure.
Are you feeling good?
Oh, yeah.
And living your life to your full potential?
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Now, so if y'all are watching live or watching on the replay, if you're feeling good and living your life to your full potential, Inna, let me see you raise your hands and turn it into a heart. Turn it into art. Show Inna and I some love. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, we got some love from Aisha. You probably know Aisha, right? We got some love from Aisha. Now, a lot of you might think that positive psychology is all about happiness all the time, 24/7. Every single day is Taco Tuesday. Every single day it's craps and giggles and rainbows. Well, it's not. It's not. It's about the ups, downs, and all arounds of life and how you handle them. So for those of you who are not necessarily feeling it today, it's Wednesday and you're like, I'm not feeling good today, Mark. I don't want to hear you. Or for those of you who are going through a life transition right now, and you used to know what living your life in full purpose was about, and you don't necessarily know anymore. That's all good too. This is part of your story, y'all. Those ups and those downs. Just give us a thumbs up. Your heart is beating just like Inna and mine. Everyone deserves to be happy and be optimistic. So give us a thumbs up. Now, this is the next thing. And this is a huge one. Whether you're up, whether you're down, whether you're all around, if you're feeling optimistic about tomorrow, there's another button down there. There is another button down there. So, Inna, I want you to do this with me.
Okay.
I want you to give me a big old wow face. Oh. Now, we came on like 10 minutes later because I was running behind today. Inna recorded 4 videos in the time that we were waiting.
Yeah, I had
the most productive person ever. We're gonna get into fixing your gut in 6 weeks. We're gonna get into the book. It affects so many of us, and many people just think that you just live life like that. And Inna, I can't wait for you to talk about that a little bit more. But before all of that, what is your story?
Sure. I really liked medicine as a whole picture. I was drawn to pharmacy since I was a little girl. My grandma was sick. I thought I could help her when I grow up, and I would become a pharmacist and invent a medicine that will totally cure her. And then I became a pharmacist, and few years into it, I got diagnosed with Crohn's, and it was pretty moderate to severe case, and it was just not the way to live. I could not handle my life having the symptoms. I could not live my life at that point. I couldn't leave the house. I was was glued to the bathroom, and I had 2 little kids at the time. So I really was looking for something else that could work, because traditional medicine, being a pharmacist, it was harder to be a patient, believe it or not, because when you take medications and you learned about the medications for years and you're dispensing them and you understand every single side effect that comes with it, unlike most patients, that pop the medicine. When I took my medicine, I knew what could happen. It was harder to be a good patient. So, and yes, the medication got me more exhausted. It didn't fully get me into remission. I didn't feel much of the relief. So I was looking for other methods. I was looking for what else is there. My husband was extremely supportive. He was saying that we will find something. I believe that we will find something that will work for you. I took that really, like, I took that in. We will find something. I knew it. So I tried it. I tried so many natural methods: acupuncture, acupressure, chiropractic, and everything slowly started to help. I went for spiritual healing. I went to see John of God in Brazil, which was an amazing experience. That place with the invisible surgeries and the whole magical feel, it was incredible. I came back. I'm not sure how much physically I've changed from the trip to Brazil. But I know inside I changed a lot. I was completely positive at that point that I will find the way to put myself in remission, and I will help others. Like, my mission would be to take care of my physical and help others and empower them that they can do that too. Because it's through your own journey, through your own process. I started a website called Journey with Crohn's Disease. And at that time, I also went for functional medicine course to learn for myself. And that was the coolest experience, because from day one, I was super excited. And it kind of felt like this was going to be it. This was going to put me in remission. And I took Dr. Kalish's course, and this was an amazing journey for me, because slowly but surely I recuperated pretty much completely, and other things improved as well, like my hormones, like symptoms that I didn't associate, that it all had to do with chronic inflammation of the gut. Because in allopathic medicine, we think of symptoms. This is the gastroenterologist's work. This is the work of a thyroid doctor, endocrinologist. This is the work of gynecologists, like female health, sex health. We do not connect the dots. We do not connect. We don't see the patient as whole. And in functional medicine, it's a beautiful thing. We try to look for the root cause, and we look at the patient as the whole. All systems are involved, and we look at the different points. So I finished the course helping myself, and I shared a lot of that experience on the website, and clients started coming to me, asking me, what do you think here? Would you take me as a client? At that point, I did not think this was gonna become my practice.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, because there was a demand from people that had Crohn's, colitis, to help them, to coach them, consult them. That's how my practice started. And it came naturally, and I didn't stop ever since. And I've taken lots of other clients that had hormone problems, that had other issues besides Crohn's and colitis, because it all involves the gut. It's all root. I'm totally passionate about gut health, because I do believe it all starts there.
Really?
Most diseases, most issues So they start in the gut. Yeah.
So interesting. Well, I wanted to throw this out there first. You were talking about, sort of wanting to go into pharmaceutical, the pharmacy, and be a pharmacist when you were younger. How did you react when you couldn't be a pharmacist anymore?
I'm a pharmacist.
Oh, you're still a pharmacist.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought you had to stop.
I didn't quit.
Okay.
I still completely, totally believe in medicine.
Okay.
I believe in the medicine that opens the mind and also looks at other things. You can't be in the box. You don't. I totally love medicine. You don't break your leg and go to a functional medicine practitioner. There's an emergency medicine that's like, you can't beat that. There's a targeted cancer treatments there that are like, no one could compete or compare. Medicine is amazing. Not putting anything there, but I believe in looking into integrating other methods, and that's where I come in. Like, for example, the dispensing pharmacist can do their job, the doctor can do the job, but I am somewhere in between, helping both, to coach the patient, to make them understand what can be now depleted from taking the medicine. No one's going to work on that. Not the doctor, not the pharmacist. They all have their kind of work. What if you're taking this medicine, and you should, there's no one still invented anything new. You might be, though, depleted of the nutrient that's extremely important, that will now cause things to get worse. So that's where I come in. I will check all that. I will check if the medicine will be depleting that nutrient, if there's other things that were not overlooked by both, because healthcare is great, but it misses a lot of points.
Gotcha. So
and I'm a doctor of pharmacy too. So I'm Dr. Inna.
Dr. Inna.
Yes.
Dr. Well, I love the fact that you don't have to discard one, no, to adopt the other. And it's almost complementary in nature, the way that you're putting this forward. And I also love the fact that you're talking about there's consequences to certain things. You want to treat something, well, then there's a consequence. There's a drain that might happen, and let's look at what those drains could be, because the consequences could be worse than actually treating the symptoms.
Some cases, for sure, and yes, that has to be explained really clearly. I agree.
Okay, how? So this is great for me, because I came from a traditional, I was pre-med.
Oh,
I came from a neuroscience major, right? I look right at the brain. I came from a traditional place. How do you feel Western culture is adopting functional medicine, or is there a lot of education that needs to happen with it?
I think a lot of work is being done.
Okay.
I see a lot of changes. For example, when I started the practice 2010, I said I was a functional medicine practitioner, and I would get a who? A what? For years, it was so surreal that people, I was like, who doesn't know? But most people did not know. Well, there's quite a few doctors now make it now as close as possible to the mainstream medicine. A lot of doctors are adopting. A lot of doctors, at least, are, if they're not putting it into their practice, they're open-minded to incorporate other functional medicine practitioners to work with them. A lot still don't. And I do have doctors that don't want to hear about, don't want to know about it. It's gonna take some time, I believe. But I believe in it all the way. And there is a research behind it. There's a lot of research, a lot of great studies on functional nutrition. If you see yourself to be that person that understands that whatever you put in your mouth, just like the pill you put in your mouth, you expect it to work, to have some kind of mechanism of action, pharmacology of it. Same thing with the food. food will have mechanism of action. Food will do something in your body. So you have to grab that concept of food is also the oldest version. Let the food be your medicine. And yes, the food is whatever you put inside is the same kind of medicine. And with functional medicine, we're really doing a lot of great research on nutrition. But there's going to be some close-minded people, doctors, associations that will need more time. That will, on the one hand, if you think about it, you're gonna realize that taking time with medicine to research, to develop, to understand is a good thing. The longer you would think, the longer you develop something and check the side effects and research it, you'll know more. You will be able to have it safer for your patient. But with food, I believe there's less of that room. But
well, you know what's really interesting, Inna, is given that there is a pushback nowadays. If you just kind of look at the way non-Western cultures have worked traditionally, or just sort of the old school holistic approach to the treatment of the entire body, it's really interesting that you would see some pushback, given that it's sort of separated nowadays. I think that I even look at other cultures, and someone will come in with a backache, and looking at it holistically, someone will go and say, yeah, that's depression. Right? Like, you know what I mean?
You have a lot of weight on your shoulders, right?
Right. And so I think that it is really interesting. Before we go into specifically how to heal your gut in about 6 to 10 weeks, why do you think how has it become the point where it has become, where we're only thinking about, well, there's only folks that specialize in this, and then it's all kind of broken up. And then how's it gotten to that point?
That is a very difficult question to answer.
Okay.
It's past 100 years of the way we were thinking about medicine. It's a lot about studies that we now base a lot of medications being prescribed. For example, I can answer that maybe in an easier way. A lot of medications prescribed today are based on guidelines. It's not quite often you go to the doctor and there's not even much of the thinking or intuition process involved. Like years ago, the doctor used a lot of intuition. It was a natural healer that would give you like an old medicine that they just mixed it up by themselves. Right now, doctors are basing their opinion on guidelines, and the guidelines do have to come from different types of medicine. Like the endocrinology have their own guideline, and the studies have to come in through that line. So that's how I believe that's how it all got broken up, because they wanted to come up with systems.
Sure.
And I'm sure when all this was going through, they thought it would be better. I'm sure that they all had a good intention.
Oh, sure. And I mean, I don't know where, but you just kind of look at just the way society has gone, and it's gone to a place where you're a specialist, right. not only in medicine, but like with the with the way higher education goes. You go through higher education, you start with a generalized education, you end with a specialty, and so it kind of makes sense. But also at the same time, when you're looking at the body holistically, when you're working with folks, it really does make sense to come together around it. Now you did say that a lot of things start at the gut. What did you mean by that?
With your GI system, gastrointestinal system, a lot of things are digested, assimilated. So if there is a chronic inflammation, you are not able to absorb the nutrients. You are not able to absorb the vitamins. You are not able to have appropriate pH balance. You are now, with the chronic inflammation, the hormones are also made in the gut. So hormones, sex hormones, if you're having chronic gut inflammation, you will produce less of sex hormones, and therefore you would have, in women, you'll have PMS, and men, you could have other symptoms, even acne. So again, it will affect. Now, if you would think, how does the osteoporosis come about? So back to gut health. Maybe you didn't take in the nutrients, the calcium, vitamin D. Maybe you didn't assimilate it, you didn't digest it, and nothing went into the system, or not enough went in, low calcium level chronically or for too long, and now your bones do not get that calcium. And with everything else, skin also gets depleted of nutrition, and it does start in the gut. Your hair could be, there could be a hair loss because of the iodine or other vitamin E or other nutritional depletion. So, and the nutritional depletion starts there.
So I could be taking in, my daily dosages of everything, but my body is absolutely not absorbing it.
Absolutely not absorbing. I'm not sure. It will absorb something, but now you're at the risk of absorbing much less if you have a chronic inflammation. Yeah. And you are now at risk of other conditions.
Okay. So what does this look like? You know, what does this look like if we want to go on the path to just living healthier, healing the gut? Or what does this even look like if I'm like, I don't even know if my gut's busted? Like, what? How do we even begin to look at symptomatology of this? So, are we sick more? Are we, crapping a whole lot? Like, what does that look like?
That's a good symptom to realize. Yeah. A lot of people do not understand that they're having problems because the society accepts the fact that constipation is going up to 2 to 3 times a week is still okay, according to traditional ways. Well, no, it's not. If you're not going to the bathroom once or twice a day, there's more toxicity. There's more the stuff that's congested, and constipation, it could be due to a lot of things, even including endocrine problems. So yes, diarrhea, constipation, all these things that people think, it will pass, or I'm okay, I feel okay, I have the energy, and wait until way too late when you really can't get out of bed now, or in severe stomach pain, to raise the hand that I have a problem. Gut symptoms are often chronic and silent. And just to give you an example, people that are, for example, mildly intolerant to gluten, they have no idea most of the time that gluten that they're eating in their food is causing silent chronic inflammation, and symptoms in the beginning for a while. So just like with that, until you get hit with already symptoms like severe diarrhea, constipation, bloating, severe heartburn, you are not raising hand, I have a problem. It's or all this with severe fatigue. So you have to be really loving your body and pay attention to what's happening on daily basis. It has to become a routine for everybody, just like other things. People meditate, that also, let me do a check. How's my body doing? No one's doing that.
Yeah, totally. And I think even as I was listening to that, I was like, there's certain areas of health in which we've become very proactive about things versus being reactive. And obviously, the dental world has become very, very good at that. For the most part, we as a society are pretty decent about brushing our teeth. We're pretty proactive about that. We don't only go to the dentist when we're having incredible mouth aches and cavities, we usually come in for a checkup, right? And that sounds the same way with your gut. We can be proactive about taking care of your gut instead of, waiting to be severely constipated or having some hardcore issues in your, when it comes to stomach pain. Now, when it came to your own life, did you have to learn the hard way?
Absolutely, the hardest way possible.
Oh, okay.
I was at my worst, and it took me a while to realize that oh my God, I might be living like this forever. It was mind-boggling. I was in pain. I couldn't leave the house. Fevers. It was ridiculous. I didn't have the strength to take the kids to the park. It was ridiculous. So I did learn the hard way. And for people to, I think you brought up an amazing point about being proactive with gut health. Mm-hmm. And that's what I do partially. And not much is out there right now. And you brought up an amazing point with dentists being proactive with what they do, and especially like even in Europe, there's even more stuff going on. Amazing. Not much with our gastroenterology world right now, and part of my mission is to educate and bring it out to them as well. I think there's plenty of room for gut healing and gut prevention, and that will help the future.
Well, I think one of the things that we can learn from you, and we can also learn from this discussion right now on being proactive, is not dismissing symptoms.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So what are, I mean, when it comes to certain pains, fevers, what are some of the most prevalent symptoms, other than constipation, diarrhea, and maybe some pain in the gut that we should pay attention to, that we might not be paying attention to at all?
So I often see now in parents, like in kids, young age kids, that back to dentist, I see that their teeth are discolored. I see when they talk, their tongue is covered in white, because I have 3 boys. I see a lot of boys in my home, and parents feed them pizza because other parents feed them pizza. Just to do a like occasional check of the tongue of your child. They might not be complaining. They might not be saying, I have occasional tummy ache. You might want to even consider a simple probiotic to just improve the flora of of the kid's health. So paying attention. Breath is huge. Like if something's happening to your breath, if other people are not saying, and you kind of feel it, you could be having candida overgrowth that really can be a problematic thing in the future. So yes, and rashes and itchiness, and skin is often spelling out something going on internally. So it doesn't really have to be GI symptoms.
It can be a whole lot of things that we can be paying attention to. I want to pay attention to a couple people that are saying hi to you. Hey. We got our buddy Molly. Saying hi, and with some big old hearts. Alexa is giving you some kisses.
Hey, hello, Alexa.
So I just wanted to throw it out there. Thanks for watching, y'all. Even little things like checking the tongue with your kids. If that's something that y'all haven't heard before, share this video out. This is good educational stuff. Now, also at the same time, let's talk about like Crohn's, colitis, IBX, reflux. It's already the treatments can be overwhelming, and it can end with confusion and disappointment. What is one way that you help folks who are going through, when they actually do get the Crohn's, they get the tap and they're like, you have Crohn's?
Yeah, it depends at what stage I get them, whether they've been treated with medications for a long time and get super sick and tired of them. That's like probably majority at this point. They've been taking medications, lots of side effects, and they didn't get anywhere. And they're like, I come to my office, I want to get off the medications now. Okay, you cannot. That's not an option. But we certainly now can go back and review all the systems and do the functional medicine diagnostics to improve your situation, that your doctor will be able to whether decrease the need, decrease the medication use, or will recommend you to, if your goal is get off the medication, God knows, maybe you will be able to, if you're really compliant and if your case was not super severe. Yeah, it's a possibility. So, and my clients, usually the ones that come in the very beginning, they are very confused. So they just seen the doctor recommends one thing. If the doctor is very much on the same level and can be accepting the functional medicine methods and complementary style lifestyle modifications, this will work amazing, because we're not going against, we're going with in functional medicine. If there is some resistance and hesitation, the patient will feel it, and of course it's not going to be the best scenario, because once you start doubting, I mean, I recommend not to go with. The moment there's a doubt, just wait, feel until it's right, and go ahead when you're ready. So clients that are ready, really, and going for it, I have a great success rate. They are ready to do the work with the food, with the nutrients. They're doing the functional diagnostics. We look and review, and there's so much can be done. And then nutraceuticals, the natural supplements. And when they're ready and willing and all in, success rate is amazing.
I'm assuming that you've probably had some doctors that were, traditional medicine doctors that probably were a little skeptical of you at first, and then probably afterwards came back and said, you know what, Dr. Inna, I did not think that you...
I've had that. Had that, yes. I've had that, and but the ones that actually do want to talk to me, they do get back and speak with me, and I base everything just like them. I base it on studies. I'm also science based. I just got my doctorate recently, so thank you. I still believe in the evidence-based medicine, and my recommendations are all evidence-based. Dr. Kalish, his whole method, he just finished 2 years ago, I believe, publishing with Mayo Clinic. So it's not the quack medicine.
No.
It's definitely evidence-based. And once the doctor, if they decide to call and speak with me, it will be a different story. They are more sold. They're more comfortable. Yes, she's a pharmacist. She's not just a person out there. She has the education. She understands, and she bases it on science. So yes, they're comfortable and the results great, and then they still skeptical, and they come back saying, wow. And they tell the patient, keep it up. This is working.
Now, I know in your book you talk about 10 weeks.
Right.
That's a fast change, Inna. That is a fast change. Are most people able to start turning it around in 2.5 months?
In 10 weeks this is what I based the 10 weeks for. I did a study on my own.
Okay.
On a large number. It was a questionnaire. Okay. What symptom? I asked every Crohn's, colitis, and chronic digestive patient, what symptom would you ask a fairy godmother or fairy tale or like a whoever, witch, I don't know, to take away as a magic, and just take it away, just one symptom I asked to remove, like the one that bothers you the most. And by far, majority answered fatigue. They did not say diarrhea. They didn't say constipation, pain. fevers, they said fatigue, because you know, when you're severely fatigued, you can function, you can enjoy life. That's the most depressing thing to people. Even with diarrhea, they take their medicine, they're still able to go to work. When I had my worst, on the days that I had to go to pharmacy, I didn't eat or drink. I went to work, so I didn't have to run to the bathroom. So fatigue was the thing that bothered everyone the most. So I took that into my book and went into because I'm working since 2010 with my clients, and I went back and researched most of my clients' results and how long it took them to get rid of the fatigue. And by week 10, that was the biggest success I had. People had the energy. They had with the energy, you get back antidepressive effect. People now go back to work, go back to spend more time, and that sometimes with constipation, diarrhea, and other GI symptoms, it takes longer, but it's definitely on the way to improvement. So fatigue was done by week 10.
That is epic. And I just wanted to make a connection here. As a positive psychology coach, probably the number one thing that my folks come in talking about similarly is I don't have the energy or the activation energy to approach something. And it'll be I'm just overwhelmed, I'm exhausted. I even think about like my own wish list, and like energy is like 2 or 1 or 2. I've never thought about sort of the idea of going through the program that you have, and the fact that in about 2.5 months I could start feeling energy coming back.
Yeah.
I would say that might be a thing that a lot of us want, is more energy, right?
Sure.
So let me ask you this: we can't go through the entire book today.
Okay.
Is your program a stepwise program in the book?
It definitely gives you the chapters in which you go step by step.
Okay.
My program is based on step-by-step approach.
Okay.
The reason I didn't do anything different in the book is because I wanted to have this book easy to read, and I wanted patients that come from each and every way of having the Crohn's, whether they've been just diagnosed or they've been having it for a while. And the stepwise approach is a little different to where you start. That's why I decided to do chapter by chapter in that sequence. But again, when I take care of a client, I do have an initial visit where I figure out all possible root causes that could have been there, that initially started the whole thing, that might not be even what I'm just trying to say, that with Crohn's and colitis, we now think a lot of it is genetics. That's that's one chapter, and genetics, predisposition, and it's there. But how come one person with the same genetic predisposition is going around healthy and the other one is not? When we look at the factors, the ones that got sick, they had some kind of stress. They live in an environment that the pollution. They have been through a divorce a year ago. Something else happened. So a bunch of factors that now trigger that gun, trigger the genetics. So
there is a nature and a nurture to it.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure that during the initial consultation, we look for all these possible root causes, and with everyone, they're different. That's why my method would still be, like, the program would still be very individualized.
Gotcha.
It would be like customized for each and every one.
And it does sound like one of the first things that all of us can do is just become more aware of just sort of the way that the gut works and the symptomatology of things, ignoring what the body is screaming. could be one of the, steps that we need to, or becoming aware of our bodies is could be one of those first steps, in the same way that when you were talking about meditating every day, right? Sort of ignoring that sort of consciousness, sort of ignoring that thing could have a deleterious effect on us. I absolutely love this. I'm thinking that this book is for more than people with Crohn's and colitis.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I would love, well, number one, look at what you have done. Are you being serious right now? We can get the book for free?
Yes, you can. I mean, I believe it has to. You have to share with that energy and information. And I'd be more than happy to share it for free. People need to know.
So awesome of you. Inna, I'm also putting your website up and your email address up. Your website is digestivereset.com. What are we going to find if we go to digestivereset.com?
You're going to find my company that was founded in 2010, and the services that I offer mostly is the functional medicine consultations, but I also have bioenergy and lymphatic detox in the office. Available for my clients. And again, for everyone that's interested, it's a very personalized and very individualized approach.
Awesome. Now, is your book actually as big as the one behind you? That's a huge book behind you.
That's my book.
Actual size? Or are you a tiny person?
I'm a tiny person.
Oh, that's a huge book. Well, congratulations on the book. Congratulations on your journey, being able to reclaim so much of your health and helping so many people. Congratulations on your PhD. That is a big deal. That is a PharmD. Congratulations on that. A doctorate is a doctorate to me.
Yes, that's right. It is a doctor.
You wore the funny hat. Graduation. The show is almost over. For those of you who watch this and you got something out of it, I want you to like Inna. I want you to love Inna. I want you to want some more of Inna. Inna, I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually go and read this book, and I'm going to have you back.
Love it.
Is that cool? And I would challenge all of you who want to start with me. Let's go and pick this book up this week, and let's do something. Let's do something. It's more than just this is more than just talking about being proactive about our lives. Let's actually do something. This is something that I've never done in my life, and so I'm looking forward to getting a couple people where we can hold each other accountable and read this book and see figure out what we can figure out, and maybe we can have you back so we have even more questions about this. Is that cool?
I love that. That's awesome. I'd love it.
Right on. Okay, so I don't know if you know this, Inna, but this is why the show is called the Golden Mic. So this is where I get to be the coach now. Okay. So I want you to imagine, if you will, a golden mic is coming down.
Okay.
Right? And the golden mic is stopping in front of you, Inna. Now, this golden mic translates into every language all across the world. So for 2 minutes, everyone across the world can listen to whatever message you want to send them. So, Inna, with that said, your golden mic is live.
Wow, that felt amazing. That felt so strong. So I would say that everyone has a birthright to great gut health. And I would love to empower everyone with chronic digestive problem to heal their gut right, to stick to the program because they deserve it. And if there's a hiccup or if there's an issue and if they feel like they had a bad day, that was past. Today is now. What you could do now and what you could do the next day, that's what you worry about.
Inna, take that golden mic. Throw that golden mic down. Inna, you are absolutely a joy to talk to. Thank you for making time. Inna Lukyanovsky, pick up the book. I didn't mess up the name, did I?
You did amazing. Better than me when I got married.
Thank you, or should I say Dr. Inna? Dr.
Yes,
Inna, thank you so much for being on the show. Yo, I have one final question for you. If you're feeling good and you're living to your full purpose, what is your responsibility to the greater good? I'm Mark Cordone. This is Inna. We're going to have a good time. I'll see you tomorrow. Inna, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Mark.
Woo! Okay, Inna, stay on. I have
on.
never messed up an introduction in 49 things. So I'm staying on live because I'm not going to allow us to go on a recording just in case, because I turn these into podcasts too. I am not going on a recording with me stumbling over an introduction. So I'm going to re-record the introduction if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all. Let's re-record.
I'm a workhorse like that. I will not allow this to happen. Okay, so if you guys are watching, this is not part of the live show. This will go into the after show notes, but there's no way I can get Inna on the show and like screw up the intro. Okay, 3, 2, 1. What is shaking, y'all? It's your boy, Mark Cordone. We're doing it one more time, Inna. I am with Inna Lukyanovsky. Inna Lukyanovsky, author of Crohn's and Colitis Fix, the founder of the Real Health Solutions. She has a Farm D that we're going to talk about today, and God healing expert. This is episode 49. A lot of things that you don't understand start with your gut, everybody. So we're going to be talking about that today. If you don't know me, I'm your boy, Mark Cordone. I'm the founder of the Make Money Coaching Program. I'm also a positive psychology coach. That's more important, the positive psychology coach. So if you haven't met me, there's only 2 things I want you to focus on. First, are you feeling good? And second, are you living life in full fulfillment? So Inna, I got a question for you. Are you feeling good and living life in your full fulfillment?
Oh, yeah.
Cut. There we go. Much better. That was a much better intro, wasn't it? I stumbled over it. So Inna, thank you so much. We'll I'll see you on the other side. Stay there for a second.